Hey guys, it is the man here waiting for Kurt not to fuck up his intro, and we're going to be talking about some E3 stuff in the Gents Lounge. This is going to be kind of like hopefully an ongoing thing.
Farmers.
Fucking hell, Foxy. You had to time that at the worst fucking possible moment.
We apologize for the random interjection. It is, after all, the aftermath of Theresa May's stumble in the British elections, so we're all laughing at that a bit.
So, hence why we're going to start with the Northern Irish person.
Yes.
Ethan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, apart from crippling national shame that the DUP is going to be influencing the British government.
DUP, the dynamite. DUP.
Mate. They're not dynamite, they're dinosaurs.
I hate the Jews. I hate the Jews.
Bear in mind, these are the people like 2 or 3 years ago.
The Pope is the cunt.
2 or 3 years ago, they ran a campaign saying, "Save Ulster from sodomy." That was a literal slogan they have used in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
So, so it is the aftermath, but hopefully we're gonna try and lighten everyone's day with just ranting about E3 for a while, because that starts
War
next
never
week.
changes.
And with that, Foxy, how are you doing? For fucking using your shit tier memes.
Wow. Shit tier.
Well, to be fair,
okay, at least mid tier.
if he's going to be quoting "War Never Changes," I'm guessing he's a little bit hyped for Bethesda's show then.
No.
And I will say why it's probably going to be a waste of time.
Bethesda can go suck a schlong.
To be fair,
and then the last person in the lounge is
soft.
Kurt, our resident fuckboy.
Hey,
Kurt, how you doing
I'm
today?
disenfranchised after Fallout 4, and the urge to say something completely degenerate and just derail this entire podcast is high.
But that's why it's a podcast, not a scripted video. So
yeah,
true.
he wants us to go off topic and like come up with the random turns of phrase about how much we hate the fact.
I mean, this thing's probably going to be like 2 hours long, so we'll see what happens, boys.
Right. So, what's our first topic? What are we getting on to first?
So, this is the Gents Lounge, and we will hopefully be talking about possibly video game related things over the next X amount of time where we actually can be fucked to do it. Probably it will come out at least, hopefully, once a week.
Just cuts now. That's
on the day it comes out is up in the air because I'm lazy as fuck. And hopefully, considering it is a bit of a hot time for games right now, it is E3 coming up next week. Actually, at the time of recording is the 9th of June, and the press conferences start tomorrow evening, at least on UK time.
Well,
so that's what we're going to do is we're going to go from the start of the conferences to the end of the list, and then, because that will be all the announcements, nothing else will really appear, hopefully, in the end of the E3 week, unless something huge happens. So
good to do a podcast just before the conferences start, so any leaks come out, you don't date yourself.
Yeah, and we're literally doing it the day before, and I'm assuming, like, a lot of the things are pretty up to date. I doubt anything's going to leak now, and it also gives us the time to make our last-minute predictions.
Yeah, the only leaks we're probably going to get are whenever the private like press-only conferences start that have non-disclosure agreements, and people start leaking stuff on that. So that's obviously going to happen at the actual event.
That'll be actual event, and hopefully we got our boots on the ground scumbags who will leak all that information. Because as a game developer myself, seeing people leak that kind of information is good for the actual public to see it. But it's a fucking ball ache for anyone who's actually working on it. Because
did you hear about the Cyberpunk 2077 leak this week?
Actually, yes, we can kind of root around that as the beginning of the news, because that only happened this week.
Yeah.
So,
well, from what
if you want to fill us in
here, like basically online, a bunch of like early concept art and like storyboarding images appeared from Cyberpunk 2077, like the new open world sort of futuristic RPG that's coming out,
which is made by CD Projekt Red, who make The Witcher.
Their follow-up to The Witcher 3. I'm personally very hyped for it. I really want to see sort of that sort of setting. I love games in that sort of setting.
Yeah.
They have come out,
and the thing is, I've had experience with the original RPG source material, so I'm also quite hyped for that.
But like the one thing is,
based off a tabletop.
They've come out and said that yes, this is our material. We're not going to deny that, but they've said a lot of it is very outdated. And considering like how many
It
iterations.
was ransom. It wasn't it ransom.
It
too?
was
Yeah.
ransomed, and they said no to the ransom, but they've also said, like, yes, this is legitimate, but it is so old that a lot of the information is outdated, and if you look at it, you're probably going to draw the wrong conclusions. I haven't looked at it
Yeah, and
personally
it's
because
gonna give you people a bad
I've been
impression.
traveling. Like, I haven't had
Yeah.
time to look at it, but I always find it interesting just to see, because I don't find it interesting to look at now, but I always find it interesting to go back and look at these things after I played the game, because it gives you an idea then. You can see sort of where the seeds of like gameplay ideas and story ideas and stuff, you can see where they started and how they ended up
Yeah.
blossoming into the things that you actually enjoyed. And that's always
That's the
interesting
thing.
to look at.
Yeah, going from the very start point, so the original design documents, the storyboards, the original concept art, and then just seeing how that transforms into things like for example, I buy Chrissy art books obviously because she does an art course, and I bought the Fallout 4 one, and then just seeing how things have changed over the actual like the development time of it, or for example, like things like like the Disney art books for any of their films that come out. It's nice to see where they start, where they get their concepts from, go from there. But looking at it, like it's only best to look at it after the fact, because as you said, it allows you to be like, oh, I can see where they were going with this. But if you see it before, it's kind of a pisser for them, because they're like, right, this is out in the open now, and the thing is, if like we just need to keep going, but we need to know that people already have a vague idea. So they're going to probably be thinking, we can't disappoint them. The game's not probably going to come out until maybe, I don't know, maybe in the next 2 years.
I would say
But-
probably the way they've been already marketed, I would say is probably, and considering how long it's been since even any major expansion for The Witcher 3, I would say they're probably aiming for late next year, possibly middle of next year.
I mean, we may hear something during E3.
I'm expecting a big announcement, probably some actual like footage, to be honest, from E3 from CD Projekt for that.
Yeah, we can only hope. We can only
It's something I
hope at this
really
point.
want to see. Plus, in terms of like gameplay, like probably the best example I can think of off my head of a game that radically changed direction is the original Halo.
Yeah,
That was a strategy, an RTS for Mac
yeah.
before they were bought out.
And then Microsoft
The
was like,
bros
"Hey, do
took
you want to
it.
do it? Yeah, do you want to take it and put it on PC?
And
Actually,
Xbox.
we've got this home console that runs DirectX. Do you want to put it to that and make it a shooter?" And they're like, "Yeah, fuck it." So
And look where that
that
turned
is
out.
interesting. It's a multi-million making franchise, which has not been going well recently. But at least
I will
maybe
say,
at E3 we'll see
Halo
something
5 had fantastic, it was really good evolution of Halo, but the problem is, a lot of like diehard Halo players, they're stuck in like Halo 3 is the best game, it should never be changed. Like, you gotta evolve. And Halo 5
Yeah,
is a
but you
good
can't
evolution.
expect everyone to actually like
Yeah,
the evolution. Like I'm in the
Yeah, but
like Halo
I
4.
think the community is stuck like too back-asswards. Like, they don't want to realize and accept that games are going to change in 10 years.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
I think with Halo 5 specifically, a lot of what people rubbed the wrong way was they said, "Oh, it's about tracking down Master Chief," right? Which is fair enough.
As a
and you should
fan
be
of the
able to-
lore, that pissed me off because they did this brilliant marketing campaign called Hunt the Truth, and it was an excellent marketing campaign. They had like a weekly podcast release that was done up like it was a journalist investigating the UNSC and
Oh, yeah, I
finding out all
remember
this
that.
shit about the Spartan program and stuff, and it was
Yeah.
really excellently done, fantastically voice acted, and like it led in a completely different direction. Like, the way it was going was that like the Master Chief was basically operating as a completely independent entity and was like off
Yeah.
he was clearly motivated by some extra information that he knew. Whereas in the game, there isn't really any of that. Like, the Master Chief just kind of
Does the
does
thing
a little
because
bit,
reasons.
and like Locke catches him straight away, where that material made it seem as if Master Chief had been AWOL on this grand, like, secretive quest for months, and the UNSC was trying to paint him as a terrorist. Like,
And I like the thing is, I found it annoying that they had the Arbiter, who became Chief's bro, and then the Arbiter did not give two shits about what was going on. It was like, oh, hang on,
well,
John's still alive.
well, lore-wise, that makes sense
You
because
know.
he's like currently dealing with like the Sangheili Civil
He-
War, but like
Yeah,
that's still. Anyway, we're getting off on a tangent,
like
right?
he should. Yeah, we're going off, and we're going. This is the thing. Tangents will happen, but I mean, the thing is, we may not see anything Halo related, but we will get to that when we get
I
to
would
the
say
Microsoft
we're seeing
conference.
Halo 6 like teaser, to be honest, because it's been what 2 years since Halo 5 came out.
Maybe like maybe like a foot. Like I mean, they did the thing in the sand.
Yeah, something like the Halo 5 sand teaser from I think it was E3 2014.
2014 or 2015. One of the two.
No, 2015 was
But-
the year it came out. It was either 2013 or 2014 that the sand teaser came out. Because I
Mm.
think it might have been whenever the Xbox One was actually announced. They brought out that teaser as well
Yeah.
to build
I
hype for the
remember.
Xbox One. So I cannot remember for the life of me what year exactly. I know the Xbox One I think was 2014 release, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Early 2014.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, and then obviously PS4 took over. But now the thing is, it's getting to that time where announcements for things will happen, and we will end up having probably a lengthy conversation about the Microsoft conference because there is a bigger thing happening on that. But we've got to get through the Drakes first, and especially that EA is the first on the list. They're going to be the ones at 8 p.m. Saturday, June 10th in the UK, and that's going to be a fucking ball ache to watch.
Yeah.
You say
Because
that, right?
there's only one thing I'm interested in,
Yeah.
and it could go either way.
So,
So,
we're going to cover
what-
the
yeah,
obvious,
what we've got-
I think. We've got all of EA's
FIFA.
yearly franchise sports games, FIFA, Madden, all that
All the
bull crap.
sports,
That
and then I think they'll try and talk about esports again, and then bring up probably like, oh, FIFA is like this huge esport when it's fucking not, because it makes them look good, but it doesn't actually.
Yeah.
mean
Bro, you
anything
play
to any
FIFA,
consumer.
bro. We got push FIFA. Bro.
Does FIFA even have a big pro scene?
No, I mean apparently football clubs are picking up
Bro scene.
FIFA players to represent them, but I've heard nothing else. It might have the thing is, for example, we all follow Counter-Strike, we all know about League of Legends, Dota, and we know that the esports scene in itself is fucking huge. Fighting games as well, strategy games, that kind of
yeah,
thing.
you have Street Fighter 5 was actually
FIFA?
part of E-League recently. Turner.
Yeah, exactly.
Turner in America.
Yeah, and then you got like FIFA, Madden, Battlefield apparently has a Call of Duty. I understand because it's small squad based
Battlefield comp will
with
never become big
objectives.
because Battlefield itself is too big.
Battlefield itself is just not that intense. You've got people playing it for hours and hours and
Well,
on end
it's not
to
intense
get ranked,
unless
but
you
there's no
have a full
competitive
server.
edge. Yeah,
And then
if you scale it down to a watchable format of like 5v5 or 6v6,
yeah, it loses a lot of that
then
intensity.
it loses what Battlefield is.
Which is a
a
battlefield.
battlefield, and then you've got like Madden. I don't see the point because there's actual football and American football, and
Not to mention, if you're gonna do a sports game esport, like Madden by far has much lesser reach compared to actual European
actual
football,
soccer.
if you want to call it that. FIFA is by far
That's not
the most
football, man.
qualified.
That's not football. That pansy ass European shit's not football.
If you want to call
Bud
soccer
Light.
pansy, fair enough, but come and play rugby without all
Oh,
your
yeah,
fucking
rugby on
pads,
the other hand,
you
yeah.
bitches.
Yeah, but we're gonna see that.
Elephant
We're
in the
definitely
room.
gonna see.
Elephant
We're
in the room.
definitely gonna see Battlefront
Star
because
Wars.
they've
Star Wars.
That's already been announced.
But not just that.
Okay,
EA has the entire Star Wars license.
yeah,
They've got to be working on more than Battlefront.
they've said last year that they were working on up to 6 new Star Wars titles, including one from one of the leads on the Uncharted franchise.
Perhaps we'll get to see some
And-
sort of
Yeah,
13,
what they
15
showed,
hours
what they
kept it
showed,
cancelled.
yeah, what they showed last year was frames and stills and some animatics of these games that they've been working on with a few of the different studios, including the developers behind Dead Space, which they have an alright pedigree as long as EA don't fiddle too much.
As long as you don't count Dead Space 3.
Yeah, we don't talk
That
about
seems
that
to be
one.
more your field, Curtis. What do you think they need to do to do an action art, sort of an action RPG?
What, a Star Wars action RPG?
Yeah, what do you think? they need to
Rip
do
off Knights of
right?
the Old Republic.
Well, no, because BioWare already have the Old Republic and it's going well.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the Old Republic's still fun, and I'm very happy that it's still going. Like, it hasn't died, which is really good. Especially for a longevity of an MMO like that. It went free to play and it's carrying on. So if we had a single player experience like Knights of the Old Republic come back, that would make me consider wanting to buy without question. Because of the fact that if it's going along the same veins as Knights of the Old Republic, and Knights of the Old Republic is some of my favorite shit, you know?
What else can we look at? Like, I was always really
we've
disappointed in that 1313 game that was cancelled because like it looked to have like the sort of epic set.
Wasn't it about Boba Fett?
No, it was about a
the
bounty hunter
hunters.
droid.
Yeah.
It was a bounty hunter.
But if you look at it, like you mentioned, they're hiring like some of the Uncharted devs.
Yeah.
Like if you actually looked at the release footage of
It's Amy
1313, it really went for that same sort of vibe. So I'm guessing they're trying to maybe take a lot of concepts from 1313 and maybe forge it into a new game.
They've said that there's apparently a game about Darth Maul. Possibly.
Ooh.
That's a thing.
Ooh.
But again, a lot of these are speculation. Apparently as well, Respawn Studio, who made Titanfall and Titanfall 2, which Titanfall 2, again, my hands down best shooter of 2016.
Oh, it's a
without
fantastic
question.
game.
They're apparently bringing out a Star Wars game as well. That's what EA have said that is happening. So I think this year for EA they might pull out a few. I think they might pull out the stops with Star Wars. Also considering the fact that Star Wars 8 is coming out in December.
Oh, of course, it's the perfect. And not to mention, not just Star Wars 8, but they've got the Han Solo film coming up as well. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Star Wars is almost bi-yearly franchise because obviously we had
we had Rogue One, which was Rogue One was fucking fantastic.
That was part of an annual release. Like that was released exactly pretty much a year after and a year before episode 7 and 8. But like
a side spin-off, then a main spin-off.
But like the way they're talking about these spin-outs, I think once they get going, I think there's going to be maybe 1 to 2 spin-outs for every spin-offs. Sorry, 1 to 2 spin-offs for every like major franchise film, and the major franchise films are going to come every other year. So you're probably looking at maybe.
That's the thing. If EA are able to kind of line up their releases within that, as long as they're not pushing the devs too hard and giving them the creative choices to be able to expand that universe,
like the Han Solo
because they own the
film
license,
is perfect for a bounty hunter game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was a bounty hunter game on the PS2, which was actually pretty cool, and you played Jango Fett. Like that was actually quite fun. Being able to play a smuggler in the Rebellion era would be pretty tits. Because the thing is, the prequels covered a galactic war, but the main, like the original trilogy covered they said it was the Galactic Civil War, but it was like the Rebellion, and it was stealth tactics, guerrilla tactics. So there is a lot to explore from that in a game setting, and I think they haven't abused that enough. So maybe we'll see a lot from there. But let's look at the solid, at least Battlefront 2. Kurt, we already had a discussion I think a couple days ago about what you thought Battlefront 2 needed to have. And I have hope. Battlefront 1.
Yeah, let's go back to
EA's
Battlefront 1. What did they screw up? Like, I have my thoughts on what they screwed up.
I feel like a lot of the...
Let's start with Kurt.
A lot of lack of content for one. Like, if you look back at our childhood and Star Wars Battlefront 2, watch those wrist rockets. It's just got so much shit in the game. And then you've got the new Star Wars Battlefront, and it was just lackluster, no content, no space battles.
They added the hero thing a bit later. That wasn't there straight away. And even if it was just... It was
limited.
It was very limited.
Yeah. The space battles point touches another point for me. That was this was what killed Battlefront 1 for me. And this really shocked me because it was being developed by who make Battlefield. And the thing about Battlefront was it was effectively always a Battlefield clone for Star Wars, and they actually diverged more from the formula than the original devs did. Because they got rid of the Battlefield style, you have vehicles at spawn points, and they did this stupid bloody pickup system Not to mention
Yeah, like the fucking pickup token shit was annoying
The-
because as well,
the actual
if
vehicle
you
controls.
had the token, you got killed, you just lost it.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
the actual vehicle controls as well were just terrible. Like the flying.
Especially on PC.
Yeah, on PC, like we're all mainly PC
They're
players. Like
fucking atrocious.
like-
yeah.
flying and driving the tanks and stuff was just so unsatisfying. It just felt terrible.
That's
Yeah,
the thing. You need if you're given an X-wing, you need to feel, pretty good about the fact you're flying not a jet, not a biplane. You're flying a fucking X-wing, and you're like, holy
Didn't they
shit,
have-
this is an X-wing.
Didn't they have the AT-ATs, but they were AI controlled and you could only get in guns.
Yeah, like you can only do the
yeah,
guns.
the AT-ATs, because that was they had a mode which was Walker Assault, which is the AT-ATs are always moving forward.
Mate, in Battlefront 2, when you got on that AT-AT on Hoth, you felt like a god.
You felt like a badass.
Yeah, because of the fact you were actually able to move it around, and you got it stuck on everything. You're like, oh look, it's the shield. Oh, I'm inside the shield generator. Damn it! And then you're just kind of trying to stumble over it,
What I
and
will
then
say,
actually being able to take them down, but with the oh, carry on.
what I will say is they have and from what I've heard in the rumors, because there was a lot of rumors got leaked whenever Battlefront 2 got pre-announcement leaked, is that they're
Yeah.
rectifying most of these issues. The space combat's coming back. The vehicles, like I think I saw a screenshot a while back that showed the vehicles are going to be spawned at spawn and enterable, but they have a solid base. Like they have one of the most beautiful game engines with great optimization that is out there at the moment. And their sound teams did an absolutely goddamn baller job, as did their art teams. Like the game,
Yes, they
The
did.
game-
I can.
Oh yeah,
The
the
game-
game looks awesome, sounds awesome.
it makes
Doesn't
you
play
feel
well.
like you're in a Star Wars movie. The only problem is it doesn't actually play very fun. Like, but
No.
atmospherically, it nailed Star Wars, and it looked goddamn beautiful and ran really, really well. So
The thing is, as
They
well,
thought
is
that
you've got the prequels now. They've said that they're having a single player
True.
story. They're having the prequels are going to be a thing. Darth Maul and Yoda have both been confirmed.
I want
So
to see. the
I'm hoping that
classics
should
come
open
back.
up.
I want to see like maybe less rigid than the Battlefront, but I want to see maybe somewhere between like Battlefront original, like
And
2005 era,
and just Battlefield.
and
yeah.
Battlefield level of customization. Like Battlefield obviously is
Yeah.
overboard because there's 24 types of scope per rifle and 24 types of rifle per slot, but like
Yeah.
maybe like 5 or 6 different
The-
main blaster rifles with like 2 or 3 different kinds of scopes, like one for each major range, like not overboard.
And having them make sense for each side. Like obviously Battlefield had it so that at least in Battlefield 4, if you were playing as the Americans at one point, you had your bog standard M4, which you kind of had, and then you unlocked more guns through the battle
Yeah.
packs and whatever. And then the Russians had an AK variant, which is fine.
Oh, those
That's
Russians and their
stat-
AKs.
Or I think it was like an AN or something, but it was accurate because of the fact it was mimicking what gear they would have available at the time. Like you wouldn't see commonly a Russian trooper on the battlefield with a high-tech anti-tank weapon. You'd probably see them with a bog standard rocket launcher because, that's what they had available at the time, right? But then because they had the cards and how they had everything in Battlefront is that you had stormtroopers wielding the rebels' weapons, and there was like you saw in the films, there was clearly a divide that the stormtroopers, because they were stormtroopers, had uniform gear,
Yeah.
and having them just swap into, oh, I've got now a blaster pistol for no fucking reason, and I'm not an officer, bang, 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 and actually the pistol is broken as fuck.
That's why I think having
know,
the class system instead, like return, would be better, and like maybe
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't
can
the
we
gun-
have
It
can we
would
have
make
those
sense.
extra unlockable classes? Can I play as a droidica again? Can I play as a Wookiee?
Yes,
I would
yes,
love
yes.
The
that.
thing is, if
Definitely.
they've got the prequels, they need the droids.
Yes.
That's the thing. We already know that that's a thing. So
Roger, roger.
droids and the droidica should be a thing. But the one thing that we kept talking about that we always kept flying
Jar
back to
Jar's
was,
playable character confirmed.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Please.
You mean, don't you mean Darth thing?
He's the fan of droid.
I love that theory, Darth thing.
And then you can just slowly.
Have I ever
drown
told
him.
you the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
It's not the
Misa
story the
no
Jedi would
host.
tell you.
But Jar Jar will. Jar Jar, please explain.
Ooh.
Misa has audiobook.
Yeah.
Imagine
Misa got
Harry
on
Potter.
Audible.
Imagine Harry Potter narrated to you by Jar Jar Binks.
Guys,
What?
did you ever hear the Bomba tragedy of Darth Plagueis twice? Misa thought no. He said not to tell you that Jedi would speak at a user. He's a Sith legend. So powerful and so wise. He's can use the Force to influence the midichlorians to create a lifer. Hisa has such a knowing of the doo-doo side of the Hisa, he can even keep the ones Hisa cared about from dying. The dark side of the Force,
Whoever made that,
some spacken to be unnatural. Hisa became so bombarded. The only thing Hisa scared of was losing his powers, which eventually, of course, Hisa did. Unfortunately, Hisa taught his bombard apprentice everything Hisa knew. Then his apprentice killed him when he's sleeping. Ironic, Hisa can save others from doo-doo, but not himself.
Whoever took the time to translate that, you're an idiot.
Thank you, u/vagabond21 on Reddit for that one.
Oh, fuck.
That's in my permanently saved comments, so I can break it out for occasions like this to make Curtis want to kill himself.
So you can make me want to cringe and die.
Yeah, you just always just crack that out at any point. But we always keep going back to space battles. Now, with the original pandemic made... Yeah, he's done. With the original pandemic made Battlefront 2, you had the 2 capital ships, and you had some smaller ships which gave objectives, and you were able to get into... You spawned in as a person, you got in a fighter, you went to the other capital ship where you fought in space and attacked the things on the outside.
Yeah.
Or you went into their hangar, landed, took the fight into their capital ship and took.
They'll probably do it how they did. If they're going to do space battles, they're probably going to follow the same formula, but do it like they did Battlefield 2142.
2142 was where I was going as well.
The Titan mode. Where you had the ship.
Well,
if they had that,
perhaps I don't know. They can't really do the missile silo part of the 2142 Titan assault mode the same because it's a space battle. Each side's meant to have its own fleet. But maybe what I would say is have that general thing if you need to beat down the other capital ship, and then whenever you get inside, then it's gradual, stage by stage assaulting through the ship because
So it's just basically you start off with a space battle standard and then move into rush mode.
Yeah, you have the space battle, but you're working towards objective with the space battle, not just fighting for.
Yeah.
And
Actual,
I think the key thing needs to be there
it actually
is
gives you a bit more of a reason of being there.
even when you transition into the rush mode, I think there still needs to be the element of trying to get from your ship to the other ship so that the space fighters don't lose all relevancy. They can still have some of their fighters there, trying to snipe you down.
For example, you see, you actually start moving in, but you've realized that one of the power cores has not been taken out, or they're about to jump to light speed while all your guys are in there, and you're like, shit, we need to take out their engines, or something like that. Giving the people who still want to be in space the chance to be able to
you could have the defending players. Some could still be in fighters, slowing down the resupply of troops there, but taking out transports.
Shooting transports.
In 2142, you could man the defense turrets of the Titans as well, and between your own fighters and the defense turrets, you could shoot down the enemy drop pods and stuff. So,
I mean, the thing is, Battlefield 1 had fucking Zeppelins.
Well, I haven't really played Battlefield 1 that much, so I can't really comment. But I feel
the thing is, they had the Zeppelins, and they were used as a power weapon. But you could easily make that an objective.
2142's Titan mode, I think, is where they should hopefully have taken their influence for space battles, because that was
if they have space battles, and I'm really
hoping they do.
I
can hope they will. But
if you look at some of the concept art that's been released of Battlefront 2, there does seem to be a space focus on it in some of the images.
Yeah.
So I am really,
I don't think,
hoping.
Seeing as they said they were developing so many games, I don't think an exclusively ship-based Star Wars game would be that bad. Rogue Squadron, another one.
Didn't they make the Star Wars Starfighter?
Here's a good point,
Jedi
actually.
Starfire.
Story mode.
Oh, story mode.
Okay, so the story mode is based around, from what they've already said, is that you're a Imperial trooper. So this is it's set just after the Battle of Endor.
Okay.
And you're a Special Forces trooper.
So you're a special. You lead a Special Forces Imperial squad, and I'm assuming, in between Star Wars Episode 6, the end, the Battle of Jakku, and then so on, but like trying to still fight the rebellion. Yes, the Emperor's dead. Yes, Vader's dead, but the Empire is still a thing. You know, the Empire hasn't just suddenly disappeared, and I'm assuming it's following the remnants of that. Which, to be honest, I like it. What they did is that they made the lead character a minority in two ways. They made them a darker race and a woman.
Gotta get the minorities in there, boy.
Exactly. I'm like that. It just feels like pandering. It does feel like pandering. And
No,
we're all pretty white.
I think right. My problem with like the whole thing of diversity in games is a lot of the time it feels shoehorned.
Yes, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And like it does a disservice to what they're trying to represent to shoehorn it. Like to be honest, from what I watched of the trailer, this actually seems to be like she seems to be quite well voice acted. She seems to have like motives and stuff. Like she doesn't seem like a woman character. She seems like a character.
Yeah, if she becomes the commanding presence in the room and is able to like carry her character quite well, then I'll probably get behind it. But it's also like, for example, Captain Phasma in Star Wars 7. Everyone was like, "Oh, why doesn't the armor make it look like a woman?" It's like because it's armor, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, she didn't have much of a character.
Yeah.
She was there.
She was there to go into the trash compactor.
Exactly. Like she was a high-ranking Imperial officer who looked like an Imperial officer and looked like a badass, but never got to be that badass.
Yeah.
Here's a concept image I'm linking to in the Discord chat. Like, look at this is what I mean by focus on space.
That definitely has a focus on space.
Clearly
that should basically
space
confirm
battles.
Space battles right there.
Yeah, we're looking at there was a.
You could probably like pop up
showing...
the screen whenever you're doing the video edit.
Yeah, I mean, all it is pretty much is just going to be a picture in the background, and then
it's it looks like it's just above perhaps like Endor or another like little earthy planet.
Some sort of other planet.
TIE fighter and X-wing flying towards each other over the wreckage of what looks
other
like
ships.
I don't know, probably an Imperial station or Star Destroyer of some kind that's been wrecked.
If they expand, I'm hoping as well that they do expand a bit because like there's still a lot in the Star Wars universe that has been still said is canon, and it is still set within the Star Wars universe. For example, different classes of cruisers.
I haven't read
shit like that. Things in Rogue One.
I haven't read too far into this, but where I think they're going from this is I think they're going to use this plot device to well, this one's a bit of a stretch. Maybe they're trying to introduce a character that might appear in the films, but B, I think the more important one is the way the story arc seems to be going of after Endor, and then if you've actually followed the more recent lore, then a year after Endor was Jakku, and that was where the Empire really fell apart. But I think this game storyline is going to cover the rise of the First Order, which will be really interesting.
And then it bridges the gap.
That's going to put.
I'm hoping that's the point he gets to.
That's going to be putting our character, if she's throughout the rise of the First Order, I think that's going to be putting her in some form of prominent spot
right in the middle
where she will pop up at some point.
The thing is, we can say all these nice things, but it's whether EA will allow that kind of thing to happen.
I think they would.
Because as we know, EA meddle a lot. They have that reputation to be able to fuck with anything that's good. Hence why Dead Space 3 is a thing. You know? So
what?
There are high hopes.
I didn't realize there was a third Dead Space game.
I mean, no, I'm just saying, you know, just a hypothetical situation. The thing is, I'm hoping, I think EA will pull out the Star Wars a lot and go from there. That's what I'm hoping.
I think that's going to be
when it moves to the next conferences, it should back.
I think that's going to be the crutch this year because I haven't heard many. Granted, I haven't been following the gaming scene in the lead up to the C3 as intensely as I normally do, but I haven't really heard.
No one really has.
I normally do though, but I haven't really heard as many rumblings of any new independent projects or any non-Star Wars huge sequels, and obviously.
I think when we talk about that, because the next one on the list is Microsoft, when we start talking about Microsoft's new toy
project Scorpio,
we should see some independent stuff. So I think So final thoughts on EA before we move on.
It's going to be carried by
Microsoft.
Star Wars, and
Carried by Star Wars.
hopefully from the rumors,
Hopefully.
Battlefront 2 is going to turn out like
Well,
the previous Battlefront 2.
I'm just
but
hoping they'll
updated to
take a step
2017.
back from trying to push FIFA and all that. Their
Yes.
sport.
They'll
FIFA
push the
makes them
FIFA.
I know,
so
but
insane.
at least FIFA's the same every year.
I don't
just
give a
take-
shit if Jose Mourinho
take a
fucking
step
turns
back,
up at the
don't
conference
have
and
it-
kills himself.
Don't have it as
okay?
a fucking major point. Like, we know you're releasing it.
Like,
Talk
right,
about something different.
the small Australian man turns up and just says, "Right, we're going to talk about FIFA."
And you're like, and I'm like,
FIFA
okay,
is fucking
fuck off.
great, and we're just like, okay, you're done now, Star Wars. So that's the hope from there. And we'll see that. So the EA conference will be at 8 p.m. British Standard Time on Saturday, June the 10th. We will probably be watching it all together and then doing a recap afterwards, following what they said.
That's between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. Like US
so
times.
3 p.m. East Coast, West Coast 12 p.m.
So
Right. So next one on the list.
Microsoft.
Sunday, June 11th. It is
Microsoft.
Microsoft at 10 p.m.
Oh.
British Standard Time.
Hello, Project
Right.
Scorpio.
Hello, Project
Yes,
Scorpio.
that's their big thing, and I'm hoping with Project Scorpio is going to be their. The thing is, Microsoft kind of ballsed up after last year. They said that Scalebound was a thing. It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
They said Sea of Thieves was going to be a thing in January.
It's not a
Still
thing.
waiting on that.
Well, they
And I
did
really
like
want it to be a
form
thing.
for the like they trademarked like a new thing, which is like an S logo.
Yeah.
So people are like
It seems that
I'll say-
like
We've already seen the dev kits. The dev kits have already been
people are
shown,
now saying that
and developers have
they
got
might
them.
be keeping the name Scorpio.
If they keep, I mean, Scorpio's not a bad name.
yeah, because
to be
like to be
fair-
fair, it's going to the way that Microsoft names their consoles. It's going to be messy if they name it the Xbox One 4K.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, it's the Xbox
Well,
One S.
The Xbox, yeah.
That wouldn't
That's
be a
already a
bad
thing,
name, to
folks.
be
Yeah,
honest.
exactly.
That's already a thing.
Wait, is the Xbox One
It's-
X a thing?
The small white one they have is called the Xbox One S.
Oh, S. I thought he said X.
X maybe.
2 seconds. I need to
Well,
go and get
you
a
know.
laptop charger.
Yeah. It's whether they're able to make it stand out. And I mean, the thing is, developers have got their hands on the kits. They're working on them now. We've been able to get specs from them, and apparently they are beefy as fuck, which is good, especially because considering the Xbox One's stats were a bit on the lower end when it came out.
It's gonna look like
So-
a toaster.
But
So the
how will this
PS4
compare to your mid-range PC? Is your real question.
Well, the thing is, I think the Scorpio would be closer to the mid-range PC because of the fact that Microsoft is pushing the Windows 10 on everything.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because you want to be able to do a seamless experience from going on your Xbox or your Project Scorpio or your Xbox One, playing on that, and then being able to immediately put it down, go onto your PC, and then just carry on playing. Like, I've played Gears of War 4 on PC. I thought it worked really well on PC. It was really well optimized, and the controls were fantastic. But if I had an Xbox One, I already own a copy of Gears of War 4 for my Xbox One now. So I can just put it down, go onto my Xbox One, say in the living room or in the bedroom or wherever, and then just pick it up then. So everything's the same. So I think that they're probably gonna push that more because that was something they introduced last year. And I'm hoping, considering how successful they've been on PC, they should do more of it. For example, Halo 5 on PC. They released Forge mode for free with a server browser now. It took a while to get to the server browser, but it came out. And people are still playing it, and it is very popular. And people want it on PC. People have always been asking for Halo on PC.
I think
And
Halo
we
6
had
could be
Halo
the turning
1, we had
point.
Halo 2. If we get a new Halo that's announced, it will probably be out on PC because of this
The thing
Microsoft
was,
initiative.
they'd announced that like Halo 5 would be Xbox exclusive because it was trying to sell Xbox One consoles. But at this point, I think
Yeah.
with the growth of Steam and
It's
stuff,
gotten past that point.
Microsoft is realizing that PC is increasingly becoming the future. Like a lot of people,
Yeah.
I don't mean to make it sound as black and white as this because it isn't, but like if you look at the sort of consoles seem to either be mostly like kids and younger people these days, or else more casual players.
It's more casual
Like,
just
people that-
because if you buy a game, you know it's gonna work.
Yeah.
People that
Yeah.
play more, like a lot more, it seemed like and are a bit older, and therefore
Will
have,
Eventually
like,
tend to the PC.
PC
Like,
is a
for
bit
example,
more
Terry
expensive.
Crews.
PC is a bit more
Terry
expensive.
Crews is now on PC, you know?
Like-
It was the
And,
same
I
when
mean,
I bought mine.
Yeah, I've got the stats here for the Scorpio, and the thing is, I think you're absolutely right, Ethan, because of the fact that they, like, now Microsoft have had, like, they've had some experience bringing things to the PC, and Gears of War 4 is still quite popular because it has an active PC community,
Yeah.
as well as an active Xbox One community, which
Like,
is what they needed.
Up until recently,
And
up
now-
until the Halo 5 Forge came out, there were still people playing Halo Custom Edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, still people are now still playing it because you can play fucking Pelicans. Can't do that in any other Halo game, you know. And plus, you can just pirate it because, you know, it's been out for that long.
Not that
And
we
the-
condone that.
No, obviously, we do not condone like any piracy of any sort, unless it's old as fuck and you can't get a hold of it anymore, like Halo Combat.
Or it
Halo
involves
PC edition.
sailing boats and drinking rum and singing sea songs. That's cool.
Exactly. That also.
So what you're
we've
saying
got
is,
the-
yar har
yeah.
diddly dee.
That is exactly what I wanted to say.
So so we got the Project Scorpios. These are the final specs that have been. These are the ones that are in the dev kits, which will be also the ones that will be released to the market.
Yep.
So you've got your Xbox One and the PS4 Pro for comparison. They're both running AMD Jaguar with 8 cores. Xbox One at 1.75 gigahertz.
Bear
with
in
the
mind,
PS4 Pro at 2.1.
Jaguar is AMD's older core, the one that has
Yes.
like its units
It was
of
the
2
one
cores.
before. Yeah, it's before Ryzen, but after Threadripper.
No,
I think
Threadripper is
was
their
what
new
it's called.
server platform, or not server
What's
platform.
the
Threadripper's
what was the FX series?
FX? Jaguar is part of FX series. Like
Yeah,
Threadripper is a
it's
new
like
high-end
the little in
desktop.
between. It's like a little bit better.
But like
But,
basically, the problem with those cores is they only had I believe the way it worked was for every like supposedly 2 cores, there was only like 1 floating point, like mathematical unit, which is why their performance was so crappy compared to the Intel versions. So like
Yeah,
their 8 core, this is why like, and it's true of both these Xbox CPUs and like the AMD FX CPUs that you were finding in computers, is that like their
Yeah.
8 cores were performing worse than like an Intel quad core consistently.
and the thing is, from that, a lot of people said that the PS4 Pro runs fantastically well at 4K. You know, which is fair enough, and it's running the same core chipset, but it is a bit. It's clocked at a bit higher. The PS4 Pro is standard Jaguar, and the Xbox One is supposedly running custom. You look at the Scorpio, it's no Jaguar whatsoever. It's 8 custom x86 cores clocked at 2.3 gigahertz. GPU, 40 customized compute units at 1172 megahertz, where you've got
How many
12
compute units,
in
sorry?
the Xbox One. Compute units of 11,720
No. How many
megahertz.
compute units? Because from what I heard way back
40.
when, the amount of compute units is something akin to an RX 480.
Yeah. This is
Roughly.
running, it says here 40. The PS4 Pro was running 36, and the Xbox One was running 12. Memory, 12 gigabyte DDR5. Memory bandwidth, you're looking at 26 gigabytes a second on a 1 terabyte hard drive, and it can do 4K Blu-ray, which the PS4 Pro can get to 4K, hasn't got, and it sometimes doesn't get there though. So those are the kind of specs that we're expecting, and because of the fact that this is the year they're going to be talking mostly about it, I think most of the games will be either launch titles for the Scorpio, or will come out very soon because they said that they're going to support the Scorpio. Anything that comes out in the Scorpio should come out on the Xbox One, which should come out on the PC if it's an exclusive.
Yeah.
If it's just a random title, like anything from EA or anything, it's not going to be exclusive enough to bar that entry because it will just come out on Origin anyway. So it doesn't really matter. And they're going to be talking a lot about that. And from the developer standpoint, having more shit to play with is really nice. And considering their independent market, like the ID at Xbox that they always have, like I know people who've gone for that, and Xbox people have been like, right, if you want to do stuff, just let us know. We'll send you everything.
Will
Yeah.
will Cuphead finally
Microsoft-
be revealed? Well, like, launched.
Will it be
Yeah.
released? You know, after being shown for 3 years in a row. I'm pretty sure it's been 3. It's been quite a lot. But that's the thing. I think it's getting to the point now where Microsoft are becoming the people's champion because they know they have Windows 10. They've got it on everything. Let's get the PC gamers involved and make sure that they're able to actually enjoy E3 and enjoy their products.
Yeah.
You know, and it also gives people more
think about it-
incentive to get Windows 10.
Think about it economically. Like, as much as like I know, like PC Master Race subreddit will probably criticize me for this. Like, PC gaming can be cheap,
Yeah.
but it on average has a higher barrier to entry than console gaming.
It does.
So
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, that's
it
the point.
definitely
That's
has
the
a
point.
higher startup cost.
If
Like,
you
I
just
will
look at
say,
it financially, like,
you can save a crap ton of money over the lifetime of your PC versus a console
Just
using
buying a
Steam,
console.
but
Yeah.
you need the startup money a bit more so than for a console.
yeah.
But like generally,
And,
PC
like,
gamers,
like you're
tend to be better
currently
off.
on a laptop and
well,
like you're currently on a laptop looking to try and get a better
A
PC.
proper, yeah.
And how much were we were costing it out? How much was it, like, just for mid-range or like slightly on the more budgety end?
probably £700.
It
like
was
a
around,
mid-range.
like, wasn't it around, like, the 600 to 800 range?
Yeah, exactly. Like
For, like,
that,
something...
for people who, if people have that money and are willing to dedicate that much to get into this genre, not the genre, but get into this like community, then they should make that decision. However, considering the economic climate and considering everything, you don't need to for some things because you're kind of covered. You know, a lot of because I worked at Game for about like 6 months, right, doing a temp thing, and the amount of times, like, the PC section in any physical game shop is fucking small because they can't compete. They have Steam cards, they have things for MMOs, and that's about it, right? But people who walk into a shop are not wanting to walk away with a PC that may or may not run the thing they want.
Yeah,
They want the guarantee that
They want
if they
certainty.
buy the brick can play the shooty man games they like.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know? Otherwise, you can fuck off. That's pretty much how most of the common market act. And we've got to remember that as PC gamers, E3 is not for us. It's for the general consumer. Or it's more for the enthusiast. But we're on the other end of the enthusiast scale. We have spent fuck knows how, like, a lot of
In
money
total, it
playing
must amount to
way different
thousands by
games.
now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my PC at the moment, I dropped a lot on to get this thing upgraded. Or to basically rebuild it. And that's because I had that money available to me. But if I was in a different situation, I'd be thinking, like, I'd rather just get a console because I can just get the console, I know games are going to come out on it, and I can just play it.
And it's gonna
I
work.
don't give a shit if The Vanishing of Ethan Carter can run at like 128 FPS on my fucking giant big dick PC. Because that is an indie game I don't care about. I just want to play Call of Duty, you know? Those are the people that make the money.
I want to
You
play
know,
the
we can
shooty
sit
game.
here. Exactly. We can sit here and say, oh, they're doing this. But we're maybe like 25% of the market. 75% of the market don't give a fuck. And we will say vote with our wallets. But the people who are just the standard citizens who just want to play games because they can, don't give too much of a fuck. They'll complain, but they'll probably buy the next one if it comes out, you know? They said, oh, Infinite Warfare looks a bit meh, but that sold so fucking well on launch weekend,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Black Ops 3 is exactly the same. FIFA sells shit tons. We all probably don't like FIFA.
I
and
play
what it
FIFA
is.
actually. I will admit I play FIFA. I enjoy it, but that's because I'm
Yeah,
into football.
like- Yeah, I'm not into football, but there's people who are, and people who buy FIFA for that matter. So we got to. A lot of people need to remember that it's not for us, but we look at E3 because of the fact that we can see what could we have.
I'm into killing
And now
hookers, so
Microsoft-
I bought GTA.
Yeah. Exactly, and you did it for your underage child as well. I know what you did. And the thing is, Microsoft have kind of looked at that, saying that extra dedicated market is something that we could easily get a hold of. but they haven't
Well,
given us any good
In recent years,
reasons.
Microsoft have gone away from the Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So like,
Hence why Sony now has the Call of Duty contract,
Yeah.
which is where they get the map packs first, and Destiny as well. Like, Destiny 2 is coming out on PC, just not straight away. And I'm hoping Microsoft can give us enough, you know? Because Phil Spencer, the guy who's now in charge of it, understands us.
Phil Spencer is a bro.
Phil Spencer is a bro. He wears 2 watches, and he looks like a bit of a twat, but he understands that PC gaming is something that needs to be cherished, and needs to be encouraged. You don't, like, a lot of games that come out are made on a PC. Well, they have to be made on a PC. A lot of the games that sometimes become huge. Minecraft was a PC game. Stardew Valley was a PC game. And I think, like, Sony don't have a PC, they don't have any foot in the PC market. Nintendo don't really either. Microsoft do because of the fact that they own Windows. They make Windows. So they're like, right, let's make sure that gamers are covered on all accounts. So hence why, when Sea of Thieves eventually fucking comes out, I'm going to play the shit out of that game, because that looks fucking amazing. And I know because they've said it is coming out on PC, you know? And that's my small rant over. I got too bit too passionate about that.
Hey,
Sorry.
we all got our passions.
But they also have to make up
Yeah.
for like the PS3 is selling extremely well in Europe and all that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, and
like Microsoft is an American thing. They cater to the American audience.
well, the thing is, Sony's a Japanese thing, but they kind of got the Europeans
Yeah.
covered, which is, you know, seems a little weird.
They're,
But I
they're
mean,
two different
a lot of the
companies
things that are
focusing on
coming
two
out,
different things.
different things, exactly. But the thing is, I think what Microsoft are doing are focusing on the internet's culture,
Yes.
not the American culture.
But now they're branching out, trying to affect everyone.
yeah, exactly.
Most people have a PC.
Apart from the fact that Scalebound it was cancelled and that
face.
upset me, I was so sad about that. But the thing is, we've got what Crackdown 3 is going to be a thing, and I fucking loved Crackdown back in the day, and that on PC. Like, to be honest, I don't really give a shit about what Saints Row has become or Agents of Mayhem or
With
whatever.
the level
it
of
is, because
destruction they're promising, it will be tasty.
I'd rather have Crackdown, you know, and like we've already been told that Halo 6 will not be out this year, but as you said, Ethan, if Halo comes to PC proper, which with this Xbox Anywhere program it should, and if they didn't, they're retarded. You know, that is something that we need to get. We need Halo on PC, and I think that will get more people on PC to play.
I
Because
think
I got to admit,
I got
playing
an Xbox One because
Slayer,
I enjoy Halo. Like, that is the only
Yeah.
reason I got an Xbox One, to be frank.
and I was at one point tempted to get an Xbox One, but I didn't see the point because there wasn't enough for me to do it. Yeah, it's a Halo machine, and that's it. You know, like I love the Halo series. I fucking love the Halo series, but it wasn't enough to justify me dropping the money on a console.
Honestly, after Halo 4, I just can't see myself getting into a Halo that much again. I really did not enjoy
Yeah.
Halo 4.
But Kurt, imagine Infection on a Forge map on
On
PC,
PC.
low gravity, swords only.
Oh, okay, you got me there.
Yeah, and everyone's running really
A
fast.
cheeky bit of griffball as
That's-
well.
Yeah, exactly. Like that kind of thing. If it came out on PC, then it'd be perfect. And the thing is, Microsoft have been very tight-lipped. Like, we're gonna get a new sport of like racing game. There'll be a new Forza. There always is. We already know like that's always happening, and everything will be focused on the Scorpio and making sure
The
that
Forzas
that's
look
got
better, have like a better run on better engines than FIFA.
exactly.
At least they're trying
So,
to do different things.
you can see the man who gets paid too much money and see the way the sweat rolls down his face and
This
then
isn't
drops
Big
onto a
Brother.
giant pile of money. Or I'd rather look at shiny cars.
Look
No.
at this shiny car in this Spanish city,
And we're like,
you're like,
ooh.
I'd want to drive that car.
Oh,
That car which I'm not allowed to drive because I don't have the money. I
But,
can go
but
play
do you ever
football
drive-
though.
Yeah, and then just waste more time, but you know. Let's see. They've said that there was that Xbox program, which is the subscription service, which you pay into, and they send you 2 games a month. And I believe you get to keep them. I will have to double check that. Don't call me out on that because I don't know. I know it's a thing, but I don't know the exact details. I think this might be Microsoft's year out of the two. Like, Sony dropped so much shit last year. Like God of War, they dropped.
But isn't there more God of War news coming?
There are.
Possibly. I mean, they've
the mural.
Oh fuck! I'm burping. Yeah, there's the mural on the side of that fucking building, like there always is, and that's God of War. So
that could be one of their main.
I mean, we're not gonna get. Yeah, we're not gonna get like anything like Red Dead related. They've already said that they're not coming, so they've got nothing to show. So we'll just wait for that to come out because that's been backed anyway. Has anyone got anything else to so I stop rambling when it comes to Microsoft?
I just think this is going to be like more announcements than anything, because they're being hush right now. Like,
yeah.
What other Microsoft exclusive games do we have coming out? Really, I've kind of stopped following the console PC.
Mate, that Minecraft update though.
Oh yeah, that an achievement
on
a tablet
they've got that Fable
on
game
Xbox.
coming out, right? They do have another Fable coming.
No, they don't. They can.
I thought they had a side game.
No, they can't. That.
I'm gonna Google it.
What, Fable Legends?
No, I thought.
I mean, they have the Fable card game.
They might be the Fable card game I'm thinking of. Everyone's jumping on the card game bandwagon right now.
You got Gwent. You got Elder Scrolls Legends.
Fucking Gwent. I don't know. Let's see. If I just have a look for things that were shown off for the Xbox One, there were reveals last year for some things, and I'm hoping that this year is, considering the console, I'm gonna guess that the Scorpio will come out end of this year. I'm gonna agree. It's probably gonna come out the end of this year, which means they need a launch portfolio.
Don't do a Switch.
That also means there's going to be at least 4 to 5 games on launch day, also available on PC, also available on Xbox One, with quite a few coming in the next couple.
We're going to see some exclusives as well.
It will come out probably September, October. Be ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any new Halo this year. It's going to be next year.
But didn't they say that something was?
They're going to be there. Halo 6 will not be there.
What about Gears news? Will we get any Gears of War news?
I mean, Gears 4 is already out,
came out.
So, and Gears 4 is going quite strong still.
It still has
on PC,
a competitive scene as well.
It has got a very big competitive scene right now, which is actually really good because the matches are actually interesting to watch.
So you need a competitive scene for a game to last,
especially on a PC market. But the thing is, like, things like COD will always last, and COD will not really be at the Microsoft one.
That's one of the main reasons people want Halo on PC, is because they turn the multiplayer into more of a competitive environment.
Yeah, especially with a mouse and keyboard, you already got that advantage anyway. Like, the Halo World Cup and everything is based off of consoles, but, you know, we'll see. So
I reckon if they did release it, it would probably change over to PC, however, because PC, like, it has a higher skill gap.
If they brought Halo 3 onto PC, I would shit.
Halo 3 anniversary.
I think 90% of Halo players would.
Can we just get Halo Reach as well? Can they just not even anniversary?
Yes, Halo Reach as well. And only
charge me 40 quid for it. I will pay for it.
I'm fucking happy to play that for Halo Reach again. Because then you get to make your own Spartan and you get the fucking blue flames. It was great. So any closing statements on Microsoft before we move on? Because we don't want to make this hugely long. And we've still got 4 conferences to go. 5, technically. So any closing things?
I don't have too much more to say, to be honest. I'm pretty pleased.
Scorpio and a lot of releases for November, I think.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna call it now. It's gonna be at least me. I'm betting on 4, but I'm expecting about 3 ready for launch. But those will also be available for like at least 3 Microsoft main titles for the Scorpio on its launch. and then you'll get things like Just Dance, because that always comes out on fucking launch day. No one gives a shit. But yeah, it'll be a lot of Scorpio and a lot of hopefully.
Mate, those girl streamers need it though.
Yeah, exactly. They need to make all that booty money.
Like, here, I'm doing Just Dance.
Foxy, you should do that.
Yeah.
I reckon if I
Just
did enough
Dance.
squats, I'd be able to get some booty money off Twitch.
Mate, I think I can
Me and
see
my
that.
tiny ass room
Right.
doing Just Dance.
you just start falling over.
Just knock my PC over like, no.
Ah,
No, my Heroes of the Storm machine. No. Right. Next one we have Bethesda. Sunday, June 11th at 5 in the morning, so technically Monday, BSC. It's only going to be Sunday on the West Coast when they're doing the conference, and this is going to be a fucking waste of time.
well, I haven't got much
I'm
of a.
calling it now.
I haven't got much of a horse in this race, to be honest, because like I've never been the biggest fan of Bethesda stuff compared to you guys. But
Yeah.
from what I can gather from the more Bethesda-oriented people I know, they have a lot of groveling to do.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily say groveling. I just want them to sort of get my confidence back.
Yeah.
Fallout
'Cause,
4
like-
is not a bad game. It's a bad Fallout.
Yeah, they went full
Ooh.
Call of Fallout.
Please no.
I wouldn't say that. I personally would disagree with that. But they did go for more inclusive version of Fallout, which is what some people wanted, some people didn't. I thought it was all right. I thought it was a really good experience. Me and the missus both loved it. So, but I can see where a lot of people are coming from, saying that it wasn't Fallout 3, and it definitely wasn't fucking New Vegas. You know.
Yeah.
Chrissy made up a good point, because we were talking about this earlier, that apparently there's been rumors of a spin-off Fallout game made by a second company, similar to how they did New Vegas,
That would be.
based in New Orleans. I cannot
Yeah, I'd
confirm,
only believe
and I
that
don't know
when
where
I
those
see it.
sources are.
Yeah, it's going to be one
Exactly.
of them. Can Obsidian
Bethesda is one of those things that until they show it to you, it doesn't fucking exist. Huh?
can Obsidian make another Fallout, please?
Yeah, I'd happily play that, because Fallout New Vegas was fucking great.
Fallout New Vegas is the penultimate Fallout game in my opinion.
Yeah. Plus, there's the Fallout tabletop war game coming out this
That
year.
Crossover.
that
So-
is something that's interesting.
Like, I'm gonna play the shit
Me
out
too.
of that game when that comes out. So, and you guys should totally come over, and it'd be great. But video game wise, before we get too off topic, what did they show last year? They showed Quake. They announced Prey. They
Where are they really going
what
with
else do they
Quake
do?
though at the moment?
Quake Champions is apparently just Quake. It's just Quake OG Quake 3 made to look better, and giving you the opportunity to have like the League MOBA kind of thing if you want to, but it's definitely not encouraged. You know, it's there if you want it, but if you want to do hardcore Quake like back in the day, then that is there for you.
Yeah.
And Foxy, you played a bit of the Quake beta,
Yeah.
didn't you? Because I played it too. What were your opinions on it?
It's good to see they're trying to do something new with the old formula, but they still have that old formula there. For the older
Yeah.
players, the more.
Like, when you think Quake, and you think back in the day, like you know what Quake was. You know it was just you get the rocket launcher and you fucking rocket jump across the map and kill everyone. You know, and taking that away would make it not Quake. It wouldn't make it anything, and make it something people wouldn't recognize.
Yeah.
And then now they've said, yeah, you've got that.
But here's something on top of that.
If you want something else, like Doom, they said, oh, we've got this big multiplayer mode and all this shit, and no one cared because it wasn't Doom. Doom was the single player going around Mars fucking killing everything, you know? The multiplayer was all right. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't terrible. They had the map making feature, which some guy made a fucking farm sim in it and a MOBA in it because, you know, they're giving the tools out. But it wasn't Doom. It was something
Different.
else. Exactly. And I think because they tried to force it onto Doom is that that's what they did wrong. But I think with Quake, I think they've learned their lesson and think, right, we give them what they want, but we give them the option to be able to do
the
something.
extra.
Yeah, and as long as they're not ramming that down our throats like they tried to do with the multiplayer stuff, then I'd be happy.
They'll probably
you know?
do all right. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is what I was also saying about this conference, right? If they basically show nothing, they have wasted an hour or an hour and a half of our time to something they could have just shown off at QuakeCon.
Yeah.
They have their own convention for shit like this. And they released a lot of Fallout details, a lot of Quake details, and a lot of Doom details, right? Before. Well, not Quake, but they've released, like, big details about their games. Right?
Yeah.
If they sit there for an hour and a half and basically tell me nothing, they shouldn't have a conference. They shouldn't have booked the place. They should have just done it at QuakeCon, because it would have been more hype. They would have made QuakeCon a bigger event,
question
because,
here...
oh, look at all these things, you know?
The question here is, does Bethesda have another IP on the horizon?
They could.
They could well.
They could.
They definitely have the finances and the size to be working on another IP right
to be
now.
able to do that, yeah. I mean, Quake's being worked on by... I believe it's worked on by ID. I believe. Prey was made by the guys who did Dishonored, and Prey was really good. It was kind of bullshit in places, but it was alright for a single-player game, and I liked what they tried to do with it. I highly appreciate what they did. But if they're not going to show anything massive, something that we're going to be talking about for the next few months, like, everyone forgot Prey existed, and then it just came out, and everyone's like, oh, here's Prey. And then they played it, had a good time, and then just
dropped it again.
Because it's a single... Exactly, it's a single-player experience.
I'm going to wait until it comes cheap, and then pick up my own copy.
Exactly, and then you'll play it, and then you'll just uninstall it after.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, they need something to be able to have us talking more and more. If they... Because apparently there's a rumored Wolfenstein sequel.
I would like to see that.
I would love to see that.
I fucking want to see that shit. Yeah, I want to see that, as well as I wouldn't mind having a super soldier-based multiplayer thing for Wolfenstein. Because I think it would work, because there was clearly two sides. There's the Nazis and everybody else. You know, there's clearly two sides to it, and I think it could work.
I think Wolfenstein, like, it would end up being a very, it would end up being very Quake-like, I think. Considering where Wolfenstein originated, that makes a lot of sense.
And Wolfenstein's quite the arcadey sort of shooter.
It would, but like
shooters.
Wolfenstein,
with Nazis,
Wolfenstein was,
you know,
came out around the same time as Quake.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it would work. As long as it's not rammed down our throats, you know. I loved the New Order, but there wasn't enough to make me really want to keep going back to it. Like, you run it X amount of times, you do both sides of the story, you try and get the collectibles, and
I didn't even try. I passed up on the collectibles. I got to the second bit and just dropped it.
Like Wolfenstein was the predecessor to Doom, so like of course it's going to have like a very Doomy feel as well. But like Wolfenstein, Doom, and Quake have always had like quite interrelated sort of feel, if you will.
Yeah, and if they keep that,
they're all
then
a kind
fine.
of twitch shooter.
I just wish they had more. Yeah, if they gave me more reasons to go back to it, then I would keep playing it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they said as well that apparently the Evil Within 2 might be a thing, which I'm okay with, because the Evil Within looked cool before. It wasn't a fantastic survival horror, but there's not many of those right now. Resident Evil 7 is the only basically thing we have, you know, but it was good. Maybe they kind of keep going with it. Fallout 4 is apparently getting a VR edition. I forgot about that. That was a thing. And if they show something big, then they'd probably be able to drop the bombshell and walk away, because we would have heard nothing about it. But if they only release updates about things that are happening, it's going to be a waste of time. You know, it's just going to waste my time. It's going to waste everyone's time going there, because they could have just shown it at QuakeCon, you know?
Yeah.
There's not much to say on them, I think if Freddy was here, he'd be like, "Oh no, all these amazing things are gonna happen." But you know,
He's not.
if they try and resell fucking Skyrim again, I am gonna fucking kill myself.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
going to come up in a Nintendo conference. They're going to be like, "Yeah, Skyrim," because you got that special
on the
edition coming out.
Switch. I mean, if they
Skyrim-
got it on the Switch, then that's fair enough.
Skyrim
Because
Switch
it would
edition.
probably. Yeah, if that's a thing, like they said it was in the trailer, and it's probably gonna come out maybe. If they said Oblivion or Morrowind remastered, I would probably drop my shit. You know, I would lose my mind if that was the thing, because Oblivion is my favorite Elder Scrolls. So I'd want to see Oblivion come back because it was just stupid and it was great. Like, you had the guy who just runs at you saying about the demons and stuff, and he's just like, I realize how stupid this is. But I don't know. I'm just hoping it just won't be. It just will be worth my time. You know, it'll be worth the time for it. Has anyone else got anything they want to say? I feel like
I feel like we've covered that quite well.
Like,
yeah,
it all comes down, I think, to the Elder Scrolls 6 as well.
yeah. If Elder Scrolls 6 suddenly appears and then it's got a 2018
I
release
think
date,
it
then
will. I think the
yeah.
Elder Scrolls 6, like, especially considering they have so much goodwill there and back after Fallout 4 kind of bombed as a Fallout game.
Do you think it's they've? Do you think they would have had enough time on it?
Yeah, think how long.
Because it depends on, because they were working on Fallout 4.
Think how long it's been since
And
Skyrim, though.
They had the remastered Skyrim, and they had the deal, like all the weekly updates for Fallout. It's whether they had enough time and a big enough team. I mean, if they slated it for next year, they'd probably get away with it because they've still got at least a good another 6 months of hard work time and QA to be able to, you know, pump that out. Or even if it's just anything from a separate studio, you know.
The thing is, like, they don't need to have the game finished. They just need to have a, probably at this stage, you need to have a sort of, like, alpha-ish.
They need something. If they showed something. You know?
Like, they need most of the game to be kind of, like, relatively fleshed out, like, the basics of it are there, and then they need one area up to, like, playable standard.
Yeah.
And that's what
If yeah, I'd take that, to be honest. I'd be quite happy with that.
And I think they will have that, like, one area to show off at E3, or at the very least, maybe they might, like, pull it on a bit longer. They might, like, cock teases and then wait for their own conference or whatever.
Yeah, if they do QuakeCon, then well, they obviously will do QuakeCon. But if they drop something big at QuakeCon, you know, we'll have to wait for that. So yeah, I'm just hoping that there's something, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for the fact that I haven't got my hopes up, if that makes sense.
No, I think
I'd like to be pleasantly surprised.
I think we'll see Elder Scrolls 6 in some form, and I think that is going to be like the big secret reveal, if you will, at their con.
Just the Roman numeral 6 on the screen, you know.
Yeah, seriously, something maybe. Depending on how far along, we're either going to see maybe a short gameplay trailer and announce it for next year, or they might wait until for a 2019 announcement, and then we're going to get something akin to the 5 Master Chief in the Sand trailer again.
That's what I was going to get at. Like, we'd see just like a brief, this is definitely happening kind of thing, but no information.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't actually tell us anything about the game itself, where it's set or anything. Maybe they might even go as far as, like, if they're doing that, just because it's Elder Scrolls and Elder Scrolls has lore nuts galore, we might even get as far as, like, seeing a like subtitle, like geographical location as well.
If we get that, that'd be pretty tits, I will say.
Because that would actually be the perfect thing to do, because that's going to fuel all of the speculation. That's going to get everybody really interested, because it gives them something to base all the speculation off. You're going to have people delving into the lore, going, "Oh, this place does this place does that. It's been mentioned here. There's this bit of history. This is the period from what we know that they might be able to cover." Like, it doesn't just generate hype; it gives a discussion to feed into and keep
the discussion point
going.
is, I think, what exactly it keeps people talking about it until the actual fucking thing
exactly.
comes out,
It gives them something to keep the hype fed.
Yeah.
Because, like, you've seen it, like, people at, like, communities for games will take this tiniest slice of information and dissect it in
Fucking
10,000 different
yeah.
ways for several months until they get more info. It's almost incredible.
Yeah. Well, that's just because we, as PC gamers, don't really have a lot to do for most of the day. Just kind of, and you can't deny it. You know it to be true. We don't do a lot. And speaking of PC gamers, PC gaming show. Moving on to
Jeez,
that.
The
oh,
best part of the
Hosted by PC Gamer and Intel instead of AMD like it was last year. There's a couple things that are worth mentioning. Like, for example, we already know that there's going to be a big XCOM 2 release.
XCOM DLC, yes, boy.
Which, if it's, I mean, the thing is, they had Enemy Within, which did add a lot, and then obviously Long War.
And before they
now
and
Long
before they do a
War's
Valve
2's a
and make
thing.
Long War an official,
That I would not be
They have.
opposed to that.
I don't think most people will be opposed to that. Like, I doubt it's going to happen, but
Well,
like that would
they,
be.
they've given like. Have you seen how intense Long War 2 is?
I got absolutely.
Yeah,
fucked
Kerr
up.
plays it.
Just X-
I haven't had
Yeah,
a chance
like,
to get run it myself.
I'm
but
pretty
like,
sure. I'm pretty sure a lot of the changes they've made, they wouldn't have been able to have access to without the blessing of Firaxis, and they were working with the Long War studio right at the start to bring out like the
correct me if I'm
first
wrong,
3
but
mods.
didn't like Civ 5? Didn't some of the scenarios come from like the community or something?
Yeah, they reached out to community people. People made really good scenarios, and then they were like, "Yeah, do you want to take this further?" And then went from
So
there.
yeah, I think with the success the Long War and the Long War 2 has had, I could actually like it's left field, it's unlikely, but it's something I can see still being a thing.
Yeah, I mean, they've posted on Twitter, they've given us the picture. Foxy, if you'd like to link it, that'd be great, because you were the one that linked it in the first place. If he's still there.
yeah.
He's not referring.
Yeah. If you could find that for me so we could talk about it at least a little bit. But so partners that have been listed include Bohemia Interactive, so Arma Devs, Tripwire Interactive, so the guys who make Rising Storm, Vietnam, and Killing Floor 2.
So probably
Which they're bros of mine, at least, because they were really we had some dialogue after I previewed Killing Floor 2.
So probably some like
So I've been on the
Arma
press
3
list.
related stuff from Bohemia. What do you think we're going to see from the rest though?
Well, we got CY Games, don't really know them. Nexon, who are pretty big for
They did the Counter-Strike like Nexon Zombies bullshit in China and stuff, didn't they?
yeah, just because then they could go it out there. Firaxis, obviously, with XCOM news, and Xbox apparently are turning up.
It's going to be
Which
something
actually
to do with,
makes
like,
it-
an expansion of the Play Anywhere program or something. It's got to be.
Exactly, but the thing is, they're turning up dedicated to the PC show.
Yeah.
So I think they might have something to give us, apart from something they've already... Maybe like a PC exclusive
It's
thing,
going to be
or
either
justifications on
more
other shit.
cross-platform announcements, or if it's Halo 6 and
Yeah.
they do like a proper Halo 6 announcement, because it's been like I know Halo Wars 2 came out,
The
but
PC gaming show is never anything for like giant announcements, but there are always
Well,
something. Like,
like-
hence why Mountain Blade 2 was talked
they're
about.
not going to want to announce like in the middle of their Xbox show if Halo 6 is they're not going to want to highlight it there. So if they do come with like a full-size Halo 6 announcement, which I think they might because it's been so long and they need to build hype for like Project Scorpio as well. If they come with
Yeah.
a fully fledged Halo 6 announcement, maybe they'll announce like a Halo 6 Forge or a Halo 6 multiplayer component just
like
for...
something in addition to, yeah,
Just for
something
PC.
special for the PC.
Maybe
gamers.
not like...
So
I'm just thinking with Scorpio around the road, you're probably not going to see fully fledged Halo 6 on PC either, but you might see another component.
well, the thing is, again, they've got the Xbox to play anywhere, so we'll see. But we've got the thing that Firaxis posted on the Twitter was XCOM 2: The Real War Begins.
That's
with the
gotta,
Advent logo in the
that's
back.
gotta be Long War. That's gotta be Long War.
Well, Long War's
Yeah,
already
Long War's already
it's-
out, and it's...
Yeah, but it's gotta be official
Like-
Long War.
it's gonna be an official expansion at least, and I don't really know what to speculate. Possibly it's set afterwards that we've won. It gives us another epilogue to deal with. Like, we've won, and now whatever was beyond the spaceship, or like beyond the aliens' control, is now turning up. You know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. The thing is, we've seen a lot of Kickstarter projects focusing a lot on PC stuff, so I think there won't be much news coming out of the PC gaming show which we haven't already seen, or at least doesn't need to be talked about because it's got its own social media presence. Like the guy who made the original XCOM's coming back with his own new style XCOM style game, which looks
probably
pretty like it looks pretty good. It looks really like the Kickstarter looked really good and made shit tons of money. So there'll probably be a thing about like Ark turned up the guys who make Ark turned up last time and then said some stuff. So we might see people appear.
And obviously we've got the massive elephant in the room here, guys. Total War Warhammer 2.
Oh
yes.
We're getting news on Total War Warhammer 2, boys.
I mean, we've already seen the rosters for the High Elves and the Lizardmen. Skaven are a thing. They have to be a thing.
No,
they had a fucking rat in the trailer.
Yeah, the Skaven were teasing the trailer, and like I follow like the Total War Reddit where the devs are quite active, and they've done this before.
They were
being really coy about it in the way that suggests, and every time they be coy about something like that, it's ended up being in the game. What I really want to see from Total War Warhammer 2 is I want to see some actual live footage of I don't know how much you know about like their plan for this Warhammer trilogy, but the plan is that if you have Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 1 and eventually Warhammer 1, 2, and 3, then they combine into one absolutely fucking huge campaign map.
Yes.
I want to see something.
They're already doing that with Warhammer.
I want to see. Yeah, I know. They've said it will come after launch though, about after launch probably. But I want to see like the Warhammer 1+2 map. I want to see that in action as well. I want to see some like
I'd want to see that shit.
Image of disintegration.
I would want to see that in action. Because the thing is...
Because that will hype me more than just seeing Warhammer 2 itself.
The thing is, it's going to be a little difficult for some players, like, for example, dwarves. Dwarves don't do boats. How are we going to be able to go punch elves in the face?
They'll find a way.
How can we do the 1,000-year War of the Beard if we can't get on the boat? You know?
Man got a point.
The War of the Beard is a thing, by the way. That happened. In the Warhammer Fantasy lore, for people who don't know, the dwarves and the high elves, there was a high elf that insulted a dwarf's beard, and then they got into a fight. And then more people got into a fight because the elves kept saying the same thing. So then they was added to the Book of Grudges, and the dwarves went to war over the insults to
well, let's just be honest, like, especially because Warhammer Fantasy and the incarnation that is used in Total War Warhammer has been completely killed off by Games Workshop and replaced with Age of Sigmar. They can kind of go.
The lore's already
there. They can kind of go a little bit off tangent, like the dwarves are engineers, right? Who's to say they couldn't come up with a boat?
They could easily come up. I mean, there have been like lore things which said they do have like ships, and they have been able to get to ships and create that stuff. It's just not often. But again, because of the fact they're focusing on Age of Sigmar, Games Workshop, all the lore for 8th edition and the old world, as it were, is already there. So they can just pick from that, which.
But like, there does have to be an element, as with like old games that are based on a franchise like this. There does have to be an element of considering gameplay over just like pure lore. Like
yes, the game still has to play well and be, functional and interesting and balanced.
I think considering how well they did Total Warhammer 1, I think they'll be okay. Creative Assembly know what they're doing with this.
Yeah.
So. And they've got the however long the tabletop has been out for 8th edition and so on for fucking, they've got that as reference, so they can make it work. I would think, and yeah, I definitely agree. I do want to see the big map, but I think we'll have people talking about it, but I don't know if there'll be anything huge shown because they kind of already they just do that themselves anyway. They just post the trailer and then do a Q&A afterwards. So, oh god, the next one on the list, which is always a fun one to talk about, Ubisoft. Monday, June 12th at 9 p.m. British Standard
Well,
Time.
we know their big ones are the new Far Cry they've just recently teased.
Assassin's
Far
Creed.
Cry 5, we're going to have proper info, and of course,
Assassin's Creed Egypt.
the new Assassin's Creed. Like, their conference is going to be centered around those two, because we don't really have... Especially
they have announced
5,
new IP
like,
as well. We're definitely getting
info.
IP.
How much?
I really
like,
hope so.
What do you reckon? Like, how much have you heard rumors-wise about a new IP?
According to I think it's GameSpot's website, there is new UB IP. at the conference.
Just rumors.
So,
We
I
don't know,
believe
like,
so. Yeah.
we don't know like anything about what this IP might look like, sort of thing. Is what I'm getting at.
We just know it exists. I know the hype trailer they released for E3 specifically said new IP in it like twice. Just black screen new IP because they can't show it, obviously.
Interesting.
So that's a thing. Assassin's Creed, that's been leaked already, and it's now got a name, which is Assassin's Creed Origins.
Perhaps some
And
news.
It's supposed to be set in Egypt, which is
Pretty cool.
should've
That
been.
is actually pretty cool.
Considering its success, perhaps some like thing on like a expansion, perhaps like an add-on, or maybe like future development of Rainbow Six Siege.
I'm hoping so. Rainbow Six Siege is doing. I mean, they've already announced that they've got the second season of stuff.
Yeah, they're
So
truly.
they've got year 1 and now year 2 is going to be a thing, which is now the next cycle of all the DLC characters getting added and all the new maps and everything because they're trying to keep up with the meta. I think For Honor they're pretty much abandoning is dead in the water at this point,
Yeah,
which is sad. But because the fact they were doing it peer to peer instead of based on a server, it was fucking stupid. Considering the game it is, but
Oh, whose idea was that?
I don't know. Ubisoft.
That was a
from like
serious
somebody like
goof, 'cause it-
Ubisoft. Peer-to-peer should never be a thing from a place like Ubisoft.
It
No.
could have been the next sort of.
especially for what For Honor was. Like
It
was
could
a
have been
fighting
something,
game.
but they turned it into nothing.
They've
Exactly,
got
they just made
the
it- they just
new
shit on
South
it.
Park coming out this year as
Fractured
well.
Butthole,
So
yeah.
there'll be
The Fractured Butthole, which has been talked about for 2 years
they'll
now.
probably be like
Dude.
doing even more stuff on
And
that.
it's still not out. It's just South Park.
Yeah,
There's
but they
only
did that in
no-
the Stick of
They
Truth as
crack
well.
out an episode in a week.
They did that in the Stick of Truth as well. Like,
Yeah, well, the thing is, the Stick of Truth was linked into a specific episode trilogy of South Park. It was the Game of Thrones episodes. And then with this, like, it doesn't. I'm curious why it's taking so long. I'd love to know the reasons why, but they have talked about it, so I'm not going to get too fussed because it's just going to be exactly what we've already seen. And I didn't get into the Stick of Truth that much because it just wasn't that inspired. Like, South Park jokes are great, but when I'm trying to get into the mindset of a game of what it was trying to advertise, you need a bit more than just South Park jokes.
Yeah.
You need a bit
Need
more substance to it, and
consistency.
it didn't have that. Exactly, and there's no consistency, and I'm hoping at least with this there is, but they're dragging it out way too much. You know, unless there was a serious problem in development.
God knows.
Otherwise, I can't see them really justifying it. Who knows? Far Cry, but everyone thinks there's going to be a new Assassin's Creed. There hasn't been Assassin's Creed for a while. When was the last one?
No, we're getting Origins, aren't we?
Yeah, but I'm like saying, when was the one before? Because the film came out, which they fucking didn't even like anyway.
I
And that
can't
just
even remember the
flopped.
I
last.
think they skipped last year. It was the year before, wasn't it? Was the last
Oh,
Assassin's Creed,
it's-
was it?
Oh,
2015.
Syndicate.
Yeah.
Syndicate was the last one,
Syndicate.
which apparently wasn't too bad and was going in the right direction, but it wasn't
It's
enough.
just they'd reached like burnout. They'd reached the COD phase, except they didn't have
Yeah,
quite the
They
level
peaked
of
at
juggernaut
Black
that COD
Flag,
had.
let's be honest, yeah.
When they released
we
Rogue
can all agree
and
they peaked at
Unity.
The
Black
two
Flag.
trilogy will always be my favorite, but that's me.
Apparently, Rogue wasn't bad because it was just more things like 4, like Black Flag. But Unity, I had hope for Unity because it was a really interesting period of time.
Unity was apparently a very
But they
good
just
game
fucked
whenever it got patched, so that it was actually, somewhat playable.
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah, like
the main character left no impression on me.
That was my problem. Like the
Like,
only,
Ken,
You
Kenway.
always will remember Kenway because he was.
I still think Ezio was
You
a better
even
character
remember-
than Kenway. Hate me for that.
Obviously, yeah, he was obviously a better character. He had 3 games to flesh his character.
Yeah, but I think
But it's
Assassin's
also
Creed
kind of annoying
2
that
Ezio was better than Black Flag Kenway.
yeah. But then you've also got, for example, Connor, and then Connor's dad,
Con-
Hayden.
Connor's dad was a more interesting character than Connor.
Oh yeah, and it was fucking annoying. Like the twist was great, but then you got Connor, who has no
How
personality.
I am Native American man. How
Yeah,
I must go fight my white man, Dad.
they
Go
I
burned
for
my
must
it.
go
village.
for my village, but my village
They
will be
burned my
destroyed
village.
because of my actions.
They burn my village. Fight white man. You know, like
White man built casino.
I'm pretty sure you're not going to get any shabab on it because this is veering into racism now.
no. Well, I'm not expecting it. I just need to get
And
shit
cut
out.
it.
But yeah, but the thing is, you've got Origins, which is based in Egypt, which is the perfect setting for an Assassin's Creed game, and it exists. It goes into pre-existing, going into stuff into Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah.
Which is what they should have done a while ago. Even a Shogun, like maybe like a Shogunate era, like Assassin's Creed
That would be
work.
sick.
I think Three
fucking
Kingdoms
great.
China is another place because they have made brief mentions in the lore about like Three Kingdoms era China.
Yeah,
And
I'd
then,
love to
like,
see that,
Mongol-
because, I mean, like Dynasty Warriors with fucking assassins, it'd be
If
great.
you want to go later on, they've also like had brief mentions of like Mongol Empire figures as well.
I still think the one in Russia
Yeah.
would be the best.
Yeah, I mean the
Ooh.
thing is, they had that fleshed out in the mobile game and in the comic.
No,
released about
no.
That character.
Tsarist, like revolutionary Russia. How sick
That was-
would that be?
I'm pretty sure
Or
that's
was-
when the thing was set.
Or is that
actually,
their
the
mobile
comic.
game? Like, I haven't paid attention to this.
Well, they had the mobile game, but there was also more about it. I can't remember what it was.
Right, I'm going to...
About the guy specifically, his backstory was covered.
I will
Assassin's
which was
find
actually
that
really
now.
good.
Creed Russia.
Yeah, find out for us, Foxy. But while Foxy's finding out that information, we've also got Far Cry 5, which is
yeah.
fighting in Trump's America. And the thing
Assassin's Creed
is, it is
Chronicles
Trump's America.
and fucking Bolshevik Resolution. That's just irritating because they've just ruined that setting, which would have been brilliant for a full fight.
I think they could easily add to that setting and just say, right, we're actually making a fucking game with this now. But the thing is, we've got Assassin's Creed. That's probably going to be a thing. I'm going to say 95% chance. They're going to talk more about Far Cry 5. We'll probably see some more gameplay. The actual key things that they've done to introduce the setting, I've really enjoyed. Like, their little character snippet trailers were pretty good. And fleshing out the characters and making them more interesting and making them more human. And you're fighting in a setting which is very close to home. Well, not for us, but at least for the Americans it is.
Yeah.
Because it is American. And you're fighting Trump supporters. Hardcore Trump supporters. In a cult. And I'm like, yeah, I want to shoot them. You know? And the thing is, everyone, like some of the people who are like hardcore in that community, it's just like, oh no, we're going to boycott this. No one cares. Ubisoft is French Canadian. They can do what the fuck they want.
That and
They're
I
not
don't
an
see
American
people
company.
who
They're
are
French.
that entrenched in their sort of beliefs and stuff that they get them knickers in a twist over a video game.
I was
a
like, I
fucking
want to
game.
go kill, Asian people. Or I want to go, like, they play Far Cry 3. It's like, I want to kill, cannibals on an island. But fucking white people? No.
You've lost my
Hey, like-
murder boner.
No.
So,
It's
is
just
it
like,
whitey?
I want to kill... I just want an interesting story. Anything is better than 4 at
It's
this
a video
point.
game. In the
So I
same
went
sense as
into
like,
4
why
with
should
it.
I be upset at British soldiers in Black Ops? Why should I be upset at shooting civilians in Modern Warfare 2? It is literally on a screen.
Yeah, exactly. It's just association with reality. But like, I look at what was it? I look at when I'm trying to really remember this now. I was on the tip of my tongue. I was just about to say it. Far Cry 4 was not that good
No.
I ditched it.
because Far Cry 3. I played that to the end. I quite enjoyed Far Cry 3.
Except-
I
Yeah.
will
I got
say,
into the character.
Cry
I got into
3
the setting.
died a little bit for me whenever they killed off Vass. Vass is up there
Yeah, Vass made
with
that
my
game.
top video game characters of all time because he wasn't a well-written video game character. He was a well-written character.
But he was. Yeah, exactly.
He was a character that
he was like a
could've-
good character. He gave him.
He could have
And he was
stood
the one
up
that was on the box.
in a
he was on
non-video
everything.
game media and still been an excellent character
Yeah.
because the voice acting was on point, the writing was on point. Like,
Mm.
you got the sense that this was a man who was completely twisted and utterly mad, but within that madness had his own perverse system of logic that he applied to everything,
Yeah.
like, consistently. Like, he was mad.
And the thing is,
but
they
logically.
tried to. Yeah, they tried to make lightning strike twice because they basically copy pasted a lot of the shit instead of having the crazy person you kill halfway through to get a shit character, you kill the crazy person at the end of the game. In Far Cry 4, you kill Ming. And, like, Ming is an interesting character.
But you never got the same
I'd say
level
pretty
of
well written.
personal like connection with Ming that you did with Vass. Like,
The thing is, as well, you never had the personal connection with the person you were playing as. Far Cry 3, you had that connection because you are a white boy, you go out and party, everything goes fucking wrong, you get hijacked by pirates, and your brother dies in front of you.
Your
And you see
better
your
trained
girlfriend
brother.
and you see your other...
whereas what happened?
Yeah.
It's been a long while, but Far Cry 4, you go for dinner.
No. Far Cry 4, wait, what happens is you are a white, Asian American man, Indian American, right? Or something similar, right? Himalayan, right? You turn up, you have guy who hands you passport and gun, right? And Monkey is there.
Oh, Monkey.
They get out of bus, they get shot, you are fine. Ming turns up, you are holding urn, you are there to spread Mother's ashes. You don't spread Mother's ashes straight away.
Unless you spend 20
Ming talks for a bit, and then you
You
go
enjoy
for
the crab rangoon.
Exactly. And then you can end the game by just sitting there and waiting for him to return. You spread the Mother's ashes, then you piss off. Or you become the chosen one. You know? Like, there's no connection to that character. Like, you're supposed to be... You haven't been given the motivation to actually care about who you're fighting or who you're fighting with. You know?
You just know,
Oh,
Ming,
yeah,
the
like,
bad man,
you-
fight the bad man.
Ming is Batman must shoot, you know? Like, yeah, you get to fucking go on elephants and just slam into forts and everything. That's cool. I understand that. But lightning didn't strike twice. And because they've given it a break, and I'm hoping Far Cry 5, where you've got an American madman who is actually, you know, seems to be, at least from what we've seen, a well-written character so far, and given it a setting which is rabidly different from anything else out there currently, I think Far Cry 5 may be what we needed when Far Cry 4 was supposed to be coming out, you know?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'll take it. You know, I wanna try it. I wanna see more of it. But, I mean, we'll see. And we got this new IP. We've got, obviously, there'll be Just Dance. I don't know who's hosting it. I don't know if Aisha Tyler's hosting it. Apparently she's not hosting it this year. I don't know. Please don't. I like her as a comedian. I don't like her as a host on this fucking Ubisoft conference. You know, but we'll see. Is there anything else that people wanted to say about Ubisoft before we move on?
Basically,
Because you got Sony to talk about, we got
it's
Nintendo.
what you expect, I think, Ubisoft.
It's what everyone's expecting, and there's not going to be any huge.
That and keep your eyes wide for unfinished games. It's just it's become a Ubisoft trend to release half-finished piles of shit.
Ubisoft.
They released them when they should have had more time in the oven. They didn't QA test them enough.
Yeah.
And you can see the signs quite clearly when they don't, like, they show you very scripted stuff, but you know. Also, fun fact, game in the UK lists Far Cry 5 by a different name on its internal stock system as Father Trump.
Pretty
Really?
dangerous.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Okay.
Father Trump.
Little interesting snippet there.
Yeah. Right. Sony, Monday. It's technically 2 a.m. on Tuesday morning. I think this is going to be the update year. Because usually there's the announcement hype year, and then there's the year afterwards, which reminds everyone that they're still working on stuff and things.
We're still here, guys.
Yeah, we're still working on God of War. It's gonna happen.
We'll get it next year. I know we said this year.
Yeah, definitely.
It's usually what it turns into.
Because last year they had, like, last year and the year before, like the last 2 years, they've had the Final Fantasy VII Remake, God of War, the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter bullshit, and Death Stranding. Death Stranding is not going to be there this year. God of War is going to be here this year. Days Gone, which was the biker zombie survival game that they were showing off before, should be shown more. The Last of Us Part 2 was going to be a thing, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that's confirmed yet. Next, the Uncharted 4 DLC, and probably more stuff for their VR software, or for the PSVR. So, Destiny 2 as well. Destiny 2, and we'll see more for Call of Duty World of Warcraft.
Kind of sitting around here and hoping Code Vein doesn't come up. For people who don't know, Code Vein is the Dark Souls devs' new IP. Obviously,
yes.
I'm a huge Dark Souls fanboy. I fucking love the Dark Souls games so much. I don't want Code Vein to be a PS4 exclusive. I want to see Code Vein on PC.
I think they've learned their lesson because of how well...
Bloodborne could have done so much better if it was on PC and Xbox.
Yeah, I think that will
I
taught
mean,
them to be honest.
The thing is, though, is Dark Souls itself came out on PC, and I believe it sold the best on PC.
Really?
So, I think so. It sold really well on PC.
If you think about it, overall, like, it goes back to our point at the very start about, like, PC having... Like, Dark Souls is seen as, like, a non-casual game. And
Yes.
like, PC is where you find a lot of the non-casual gamers these days.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
a thought.
I mean... Yeah, I mean, I kind of gotta agree with that. I think, though, with Namco, I think they might just release on PC anyway and just say, fuck it. It's not an exclusive Miyazaki game, you know, it's just a From Software game. Is it even From Software? I don't even think it's
From
Software.
Soft. They're the,
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, if it's From Soft, then fair enough, but a lot of the things that people really wanted to see, like, we wanted to see more about Death Stranding because it's Kojima's Mad Mikkelsen love child.
Yes.
You know?
Please.
I want to see more about it, but they have said there's nothing going to be about it. They released a screen of like a poster. No, and they've said no other details, and there's nothing going to be there. Red Dead's definitely not going to be there, so that's something else. We're going to see probably more about God of War 4. Oh, is it God of War 4 or is it just God of War?
Oh, that's a question. That's a question.
I know it's a continuation, but it's whether they've called it God of War 4.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get the release date for that now.
I
think the release date is coming.
Question to ask, to be honest. Asking
and personally, I'm pretty hyped for it because I think it looks really cool. Because, you know, Viking and era, well, Viking mythology and Norse mythology, you know, is pretty cool, and I think God of War fits it well. Because then you also get to be angry dad protecting small child, you know, and then you show small child how to kill demons properly.
That would be cool.
Maybe I'm hoping we might get some more stuff from the Japanese side. Maybe some news on Final Fantasy VII. Maybe something on Kingdom Hearts.
I think we'll see Final Fantasy VII.
I'm hoping
and
so.
I think we'll see Kingdom of Hearts too.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is... I mean, they said that they're still working on it, and I'm hoping that they'll get to a point where they've got things ready. I want to see things about Days Gone, but I also want to see something from the multiplayer side. I want to see more things that keep me hooked into multiplayer. Like, when Red Dead comes out, it will probably come out on PC, considering how well GTA Online is going on PC. Red Dead on PC, I want to play that shit. Because that will be fucking sweet, you know. If they did Red Dead Online as well as GTA Online, you know, it'd be pretty tits.
I agree.
But it's looking at realistically what Sony are gonna show. I don't think it's gonna be an update year. It's gonna be one of those years where they just say, "We're still working on it, guys. Here's a couple release dates. It's coming out next year, or maybe at the end of this year."
We swear it'll be cool.
Great. Yeah, promise. Extra heartsies. But it's not going to be substantial enough for us to really blow our minds. But like, oh, that's cool. We've got a release date for that now.
Ta-da! That's
cool.
it.
Yeah, and that's about it. And I think what's happening now is that it's gotten to... Because I think I said this earlier, is that it's getting to a point where Sony's going to be updating, where Microsoft's going to be announcing. And then next year, Microsoft's going to be updating, and then Sony's going to be dropping bombshells.
Yeah.
or announcing shit, you know? Like, we don't get Death Stranding this year. Next E3, we get loads of shit about Death Stranding and a release date and what something really fucking wacky. And then they're going to be like, right, we're making sure that Microsoft customers will have the best gaming experience on Xbox. You know? Like, that shit just carried on, you know?
You mean utter bullshit?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an update year. You know, I think this year is Sony's update year. And it's not going to be mesmerizing. No one's going to have their fucking mind blown. But, you know, we'll see. Like Nintendo as well. Like, just kind of switch in. It's just going to be an update year. It's just... Like, I'm saying, apparently Nintendo's conference is only going to be half an hour long. The Nintendo Direct is only going to be half an hour long.
What?
That better be
They've
full
got
of stuff, or...
They've got... I doubt they've got anything.
But what
you
was
know?
the point in you coming there?
Yeah.
They don't... The thing is, they don't go to E3. They just do the Direct, you know? They don't actually turn up to E3 that often. They only turned up last year because they were showing off Zelda, and that was the only thing they were showing off.
Yeah, because they needed
when
Zelda to be showing off in order to sell some goddamn systems.
Yeah, exactly.
At this point.
And, you know, they had a presence, but all of their shit was going to be on... You know, it's on the Nintendo Direct, all their announcements and everything. They're not really going to have much playable. I mean, they've got Mario. They've announced that there's a new Pokemon. There's a new edition of Sun and Moon coming out for the DSs. There's a new version of Pokken, which is the Pokemon Fighter on the Switch, which is actually kind of cool because Pokken's really good. I'm kind of rolling them into one because they're just going to be update years. There's nothing...
There's nothing like spicy, you know.
If they drop Destiny 2 instead of Bungie having their own conference for it, that would have been fucking great. Because they'd be like, oh shit, Destiny 2, oh shit, loads of details, you know, straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Like that would be like, okay, I'm interested now. But I don't think they're pulling in people's expectations because they've got the PS4 Pro. They've already said that all these cool games are coming out. They did the big things last year, like said, right, Crash is coming back. We've got some really cool games coming out. Here are all these new ones. Here's ones you wouldn't expect when it comes to God of War. And then this year, it's just going to be kind of like a somber thing. It's just going to be the stage. It's going to be the big thing around it saying, oh, look at all these cool things that are going to be happening on PlayStation in the next 6 months. And you're like, cool.
So what?
I'll wait 6 months then, you know?
Yeah.
You're not grabbed in. But then Scorpios, everyone's going to be like, oh my god, did you see this game? You know, like, you know.
Like, yes, I have seen 4K graphics. They have been on fucking
What?
everything else for years and years.
Yeah. Does anyone have anything they want to add?
Nah,
really?
I don't really think.
Well,
there's
if they
anything
don't
of interest.
announce much new, if they're not going to announce anything, they're just going to show that the Switch was like rushed out to go with Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, because there'll be nothing new there to push more consoles.
The thing is, they had a Nintendo Direct, and they had a Switch in it, and I was like, "Is this it? Are we getting a Pokemon game on the Switch?" And it was like, "It's Pokken." Okay, that's cool. I like Pokken. Pokken's fun. Pokken's actually like updated now with Sun and Moon Pokemon, but can we have an actual full Pokemon game on the Switch?
Can we get a sequel to Pokemon Coliseum, please?
I'll happily take a sequel to Pokemon.
I love the shit out of that game.
You know, like, I'll happily take that and just go with that for a while.
That would actually, like, somewhat convince me to buy a Switch.
Oh yeah, like I'm curious about the Switch, but it's just they've got nothing now. There are cool ideas like ARMS. Like when Mario comes out, it'll probably be quite a good idea to get a Switch.
I've played on a Wii U a bunch of times, and the Wii U controller, I feel like the Switch is going to be quite similar. The Wii U controller feels very clunky and nasty in my hands.
The Wii U controller was.
I've used a Switch a couple times, and it's not that clunky. It does feel they're kind of.
It
small
is a
in my
little
hands.
uncomfortable. The shoulder buttons in particular on the Wii U are bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a bite.
The thing
That's
is,
like
they've given you the option to have the bigger controller, and then you can, if you're using it in handheld mode, it's fine. If you're using it on the little pad, it's okay. like it's not revolutionary and it kind of works. It's like the nice middle ground between the Wii and what the Wii U was trying to do, but again, it's got nothing. It's got no substance to it. It's a bread inside a bread sandwich. There's no filling there. Just another slice of bread. You know?
Yeah, no, I think that's a reasonable statement.
Yeah. if we need something to keep us into it. Like every year we get big announcements and shit like that, and everyone's like, the thing is, because of how media works now, is that we're getting announcements throughout the year of just when shit just drops.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, oh, that's fucking cool, but no one's, you know, really dropping.
There's no bombshells. There's no. Maybe
Yeah.
we will see it. Maybe
No.
we'll see a new IP bombshell. Maybe something really cool that's gonna slap us all in the face.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Epic dropped Fortnite.
Fortnite, I'm quite interested in.
Yeah, me too.
Because
Like I that was announced
Ages ago.
about 5 years.
yeah, that's what I'm.
Because
a
I
bit
remember
iffy
signing
about.
up to it. The thing is, they've been working on it passively, I think. But it looks good. And what they've said is that in July is you can start playing in July, at the end of July. And that will have X amount of stuff, right? And then you go from there, and it should be well-rounded, but what they're saying is that it's early access, which, for a game from Epic specifically, it's not going to be what we consider early access on Steam. It's going to be, yeah, it's an early version, but there's going to still be a lot there.
Yeah.
Right? And then it said it's going to be fully released 2018, and we're going to be adding things over time. So that's cool. I'll probably have a look at it day one, you know, just to see what its state is. And I've been looking forward to this game for a while. I'm hoping it does come out. But if it just turns out just to be utter crap, you know, that's different. And that's the thing as well. It was just dropped out of the blue. Just, oh yeah, this is now a thing. Oh, okay, cool. And like, we have to deal with drops every so often of game announcements or anything else because of the social media reach that people have. And you're just like, oh, okay, cool. You're not grabbed that much by anything huge because you either already saw it coming or you're already like hyped out from the other announcements, you know?
There's not really much left.
Yeah.
It's like, eh. No,
We'll have to see,
I think
you know?
this E3, I think, is just... I don't know. There could be a lot of big things about it, but it could go either
unlikely.
way. It could be a huge E3. Like, usually, you know if an E3 is going to be a filler year or a big year, but this year it could be either. Because,
yeah. I'm still thinking it's going to be the mixture.
Like, everything's gotten so out of sync at this point with itself.
Most of my hopes this year are riding on new IP. There's no sort of franchise I'm particularly interested in.
Help us, new IP.
I mean,
your only hope.
I to be honest as well, like, I'm kind of hyped for Destiny 2, but that's because I like Destiny. So,
I guess.
And I'm hoping it will get to a point where, because Destiny 2 is coming out on PC, it may not be coming out straight away, but I'll happily play it, you know, because I like Destiny, and I would hope that other people play it too, because it just gives us another thing to it would just give us more things to play.
Yeah.
Especially as a group.
True.
And we do. I think if Fortnite comes out and it actually plays okay, I'll see if I can try and get a hold of a thing for it. But if it looks okay, then the seal of I'll give you my seal of approval. You know, I think we should probably play it. It looks right up our alley. You know.
I mean, I'm always worth anything's always worth trying, to be honest.
Yeah. Right. So, what do you want to do? Should we call it there? It's bordering on the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, I'd say call it.
Try and wrap it up.
We've covered plenty of stuff, to be honest. Like, we've covered quite a lot.
I've been quiet.
Again, this is the E3 special. I mean, the thing is, if you're, I mean, if there's not a lot to say, then there's not a lot to say.
Yeah.
You know? But like,
I feel like E3 this year, like in terms of like if you're going through the press conferences, the first couple of press conferences, want to be bothered to watch.
will be interesting.
Like it's gonna get.
I'm gonna. Yeah. So what are your predictions for conferences? Who do you think's gonna drop the biggest stuff?
Microsoft.
I think Microsoft is like in terms of who can drop something big. Microsoft has to be up there, and
I think a lot of it is, a lot of the hype behind this is going to be riding on Microsoft.
Microsoft and Bethesda have the capacity to surprise in a big way, whilst EA, they're not going to surprise us with anything, but I think EA could make a solid impact if they show that they're actually going somewhere with their Star Wars IPs.
Yeah, if they drop shit tons of Star Wars stuff, then I'll be
pretty pleased just with a bunch of Star Wars stuff. They don't need to do much more for me.
But yeah,
I'm happy to call it there, to be honest. I think
Yeah, what sort of shit are we going to chat then in our future podcast? We're going to keep this going.
Whenever things
Chat
happen,
shit, get banged.
and just chat shit, mostly. We'll find like there'll be probably things that will appear that will be like, right, we need to talk about this. This is upsetting. Probably talk about Counter-Strike stuff, esports, gaming, whatever we just find interesting.
You know,
it's just us just having a
Counter-Strike
chat.
esports,
Yeah.
I'll be able to cover in fucking detail because I follow that consistently.
Religiously.
Not religiously, like I do,
Yeah.
I do let it go whenever I have something else I want to do, but like
Yeah.
I do.
But
probably.
like this one episode now is based around us talking about E3 shit, and I will make sure that as soon as we can get together after every conference and every set of announcements, I'll be making notes, and we will go over and we will talk about what we've seen, give our views, give our opinions, and put those up in separate videos when we can. Actual lounging that we have, again, would probably just be us just chatting, talking about stuff, you know, whatever's going on, really. Just giving us the outside presence and giving our opinions, debating, and what we usually do anyway, just recorded.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know? Just sit down and then, right, we're talking about this shit. This shit's fucked up. Like, no, I like that shit, and then we have an argument. You know, that kind of thing.
So the standard going on.
The fun stuff.
The standard going on, but the thing is, considering what we're like when we talk to each other normally, you know, we can just kind of easily just record.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I can see
think that's
that.
probably what we need. So yeah, that we'll try and get these up at least every week. At some point, I need to get into a point where I've got some sort of consistent schedule. Plus also recording videos and trying to get things back up and streaming. You know, it's gonna be a hefty plate. You know.
Basically, Gaz wants to become famous, and he's going to utilize us to do it.
Yes, I want to become internet famous, and you're going to be.
So we're going to become internet
You're
famous
gonna
for
be-
you.
You're gonna be-
build my
yeah.
fame, and you are my pathway to fame.
Look, Ethan, I don't appreciate what you're saying. I will not use you to get famous because I am already famous.
Okay, keep telling yourself that, mate.
Ethan,
I
will fire you.
You can't fire me. The lounge is this isn't a dictatorship. This is a democracy.
I will fire you. I'm the president. It's hard to keep that going. Like, sometimes I can do it really well, and sometimes I feel like I'm...
So this is how democracy dies, with thunderous applause.
Not with a whisper, but with a chant.
I maintain that Cartman and Trump are the same person.
Trump is actually Eric Cartman plus 50 years.
Tell me it doesn't make
I
sense.
Can see that.
Yeah.
Isn't he like 70 odd?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's like
he's 70 odd and lives in McDonald's. I'm not even kidding.
Like I said, the world will end not with a whisper, but with a Trump.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
And on that note, I think we'll leave it there.
And
So,
on that bombshell, it's time to end the
expect-
show.
So it
Okay,
is now.
Clarkson. Calm down over there.
Fucking hell. So E3 starting
A
at
Prince
is now
producer.
kicked over into Sunday. Is the Saturday 10th of June.
Does that mean I get to punch
We've
gas?
got EA.
Yeah, but you get fired.
I did the whole Clarkson and on that bombshell. He's like, all right, Clarkson. I was like, does that mean I get to punch gas?
Mate, no, I'm not a producer. You fuck.
But you are producing.
We're
this.
all the producers.
We're all.
We're all
producers.
executive producers.
I mean, if people else start editing for me, I'll be.
I mean, I
Um,
provide
at
my
that
beautiful
point,
body and
You would
voice, but
actually
that's about it.
have to pay me.
And I'm not paying you. We have no money.
I'm not just
Right,
doing
so,
this for like to get recognition.
Are you not?
You're not a struggling deviant artist.
I don't do commissions for
Right.
free.
Really?
Yeah, so we'll wrap this up now. So it is now, at the end of the recording, it is now Saturday the 10th of June. EA's conference will be at 8 p.m. tonight. I will try and get this up tomorrow. And then we'll get the all of the post-conference stuff as soon as we can, considering some of them, because it's in America, coming around to record at 6 in the morning after Bethesda's thing. Fuck that noise. That's
I'll
not
be
happening.
here.
Yeah,
I'll record I'll record
end up-
myself being like,
Yeah,
shit's crazy, man.
yeah. We may end up doing like a couple in one, but we'll see.
The
what
Elder
happens.
Scrolls Fallout
And-
MMO. Whoa.
Oh my god! And then yeah, we've got, and then we will try and lounge every week from here on.
The
out.
Elder Scrolls
So-
fucking MMO. They actually add new shit to that.
So how do you want to end this then?
with inappropriate sexual comments. There haven't
Everyone
been
just
any
goes-
for the entire past 2 hours.
What was that? What was
Okay.
that, Curtis? You want to put your penis inside me?
I want to put my penis inside you.
And on that note,
The penises will go inside people.
Yo, mate.
from the Gents Lounge, we tip our hats at you.
Oh my god, you just made that 20% more fedora.
Oh,
That's the point.
I just cringed. Physically
that's the point.
cringed.
I know,
Fucking
I know
gas.
we embrace the cringe to like try and piss each other off, but come on, guys. Come on, guys.
Hey, I'm trying to make it worse. And
Bait.
I mean, I'll take any ending. At
Great
this
bait, mate. I rate it of it.
point. I rate out of 8 and good night.
And good night.